As we all know, teaching is probably one of the hardest jobs out there since it was created back in what, 300 okay. I'm not talking about just teaching someone one on one. I'm talking about a classroom setting where you have 20 to 30 kids and just one person teaching in front of the class. For older generations, maybe it was not as bad as right now, Gen Alpha. For Gen Z, of course, we had those class clowns who, instead of learning and listening to the teacher, they would just be making fun of other people, laughing. You could just hear them in the background. I mean, some days I was that person as long as it was not a serious day. If it was like a half day, you know what I mean? By 12, we are going home. Those kind of days, I'd be just chilling, have fun with, my friends and stuff back of class laughing. As long as it's not disturbing the class, we were chilling. But here's the problem with nowadays. Nowadays, you have more of those kids than normal kids. I'm not saying, okay, not normal, but you have more of those clown kids in class who just want to be on social media, on their phone, or because they're so used to being on the phone, especially when the parents don't care as well, if this makes sense, right? You have one teacher teaches about, let's say, four classes a day, and each class runs in maybe an average of 25 kids. So if that one teacher has to deal with 100 different kids with all of them different backgrounds. You might have a kid who's very rich at home. You might have a kid who's poor. You might have a kid. So you never know what to do apart from just teach. And if that one person does not understand, the best thing, and this is why I think one of my teachers always said, if you don't understand, come and ask me specifically, because I'm just teaching, right? I have a passion for teaching, but there's some teachers who are quitting right now because teaching is no longer what it used to be back in the day. That's what we're going to be talking about today, trying to understand why teachers are quitting. As I've seen, a lot of teachers who are quitting are Gen Z, my age, and Gen X, I think, the one on top of that. So like people between their 20s and 40s are now quitting because teaching is no longer what they thought it was. Because now you have a kid who's an iPad kid who's so used to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Their attention span is so cooked that the teacher can no longer like teach, because every time they turn around to write something on the board, the kid's messing up with something. Or they teach, the kid comes back, does not even explain what the problem is. They take the test, they fail, and then whenever they tell the parent doesn't care as well because they don't see it. So with this being said, we're going to be trying to watch some videos, react to them, and understand what's going on. So here we have a teacher last year in around April 2024. So about 7 months ago, right when I'm recording this video, 7 months ago, where she looks like she's in her 20s, maybe 30s max, I don't know if she's pushing 40s. If she's in her 40s, hey man, congrats. With that being said, she's quitting teaching, and here's why.
Teaching. This has been my fifth and final year of being a teacher. If you follow me on TikTok, you probably noticed that I have not posted in a couple months. I haven't posted since February. I have been kind of checked out and mentally.
You know what's crazy? 5 years. Okay, I'm not throwing shade at her, but 5 years is very low in terms of teaching, and here's why. Every single teacher that was teaching me my physics in, this is high school time. I don't know about preschool and kindergarten because I was in Africa at the time. Don't you know what I mean? Allow it. So what happened? Every time you'd ask a teacher, "Oh, how long have you been teaching for?" 24 years, 30 years, 15 years, 17, 20, 25. I had a teacher who's been teaching for 40 years. She was in her 60s. Okay, allow it. So for her to be quitting after 5 years, that means it has to be really, because by the looks of like behind her, the 8, the 9, 10, 11, 12 tells me that this is probably like preschool to like, kindergarten to like preschool, like fourth grade going downwards. So this must be a lot of work for her. One person, 30 students. Remember that.
Mentally and emotionally done with this job. I'm leaving, and it wasn't a decision that I have taken lightly. This is a decision that I have been thinking about all year. This year has been extremely challenging for me. I'm not sure if for those of you who are not in education, are aware of what's happening in schools, but it's not easy. I don't think people truly understand what teachers are going through. Lots of children are not told no at home.
Exactly what I was saying. Parents are a part of this. If your parents, okay, I'm glad I had good parents. And this is the funny part, right? I remember when my parents used to tell me, "Hey, man, no, don't do that, don't do this." You, as a kid, you get mad, you get pissed off, you start crying, you start jumping up and down. But as you grow up, you start learning and understanding. Oh, that's why they said no. Because when you get your own kids, or I understand this, when I get my own kids, the amount of no's I'll be saying will be a lot, just to make sure I keep them straight and they understand exactly what I expect from them as human beings, as long as they're under my name, you know what I mean? So when kids are not being taught to say no at home, usually relates to, oh, I did something wrong. That's cool. But when someone outside of your parents tells you no, usually ends up with a kid feeling like, who are you to tell me that, bro? Who are you? You're nobody. You're just someone I meet during the day, and by nighttime, I'm nowhere close to you. So, as long as the parents don't say no at home, the kids are not going to listen to the teachers whenever they say no. That's why you end up with a grumpy kid trying to hit everybody, push everybody, throw things around the classroom. That's how it works.
Which makes my job extremely difficult when it comes to
Discipline.
having them hold accountability for their actions and their mistakes
Exactly.
and following directions and keeping their hands to themselves. This year, I have been cursed at by both students and parents. I have
Okay. Cursing at a teacher as a parent is crazy work. Even as a student, how do you, okay, this one thing I never understood, right? We had some of those kids who always were like this, but not that many. But I'm pretty sure now with phones, iPads, and all this access to the internet and how people behave, they end up building this personality around those people at the same time with their parents. And more often, those kids are more often on their phones, on the internet, than with their teachers. So what they end up, or not teachers, but parents, so they end up learning more from the internet than from their actual parents or teachers.
been hit, punched repeatedly. And what hurts the most is the lack of support from the families when you are telling them and explaining what their child did. Instead of asking you, are you okay? Or my child did what? They ask you, well, what did you do to make them upset?
She said it perfectly. My child did what? You see that what? If my mom, okay, if my mom or my dad ever heard me, and this is no joke, if they heard me hitting a kid, hitting a teacher, or cursing at a teacher, they'll be like, my kid did what? The whooping I would get at home, brother. It was, you know what? Allow it. Yo. And I think this is why my teachers always like appreciated the kids in my class. We never had this many issues, but kids who always listened and actually understood what was going on. Because remember, a teacher's dealing with 100 kids per day. You're just one of them. So imagine 30 of them being annoying at the same time. That's gotta be stressful, man.
Or are there cameras in the room? The behaviors that I have had to put up with this year are behaviors that I have never experienced as a teacher this so far.
So yeah, she's one of the teachers that I saw, which was very interesting that she's quitting. Uh,
If you
he's
are a
another teacher
teacher
that I saw that's quite interesting as well, and how she explained teaching.
and you're thinking about quitting your job, which if you're a teacher, you probably are, this is your sign to quit your job. I was a teacher for 8 years and I am in a new career. And I definitely miss the kids. I don't miss the administration and I don't miss the parents, but I miss being with kids. And I just got to go spend an hour in a school talking to kids about what I do and being with kids. And now I'm home and I can have a fucking cup of coffee with my puppy at 10, whatever time it is. Like, make it work. Quit being a teacher, make it work. We need to just all leave education, and then what will they do? Like, they're
Yo, as soon as teachers start quitting, that's when your country in general is getting cooked. You know what I mean? If teachers just decide and be like, you know what, I think I'm done. And this is probably one of the things that I never wanted to do as a kid is be a teacher, because I'm a very patient person. I'm a very chill guy. But when it comes to dealing with someone who's disrespectful today, disrespectful tomorrow, disrespectful the other day, and then when you tell the person that's actually supposed to be taking care of them, their parent, they're also disrespectful. So what do you do at that point? What's the best option for your own mentality? Quit, brother. Quit. Just leave.
I've got bad news. Today is the day that I quit teaching. Please, let me explain why. Yesterday, our class was working on a project, and I told everyone to go to the PowerPoint. Finally, when they got to the PowerPoint, I did this. PowerPoint. 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 I waited a second for the reactions, and finally, after just like 5 seconds of awkward silence, and me expecting like a laugh or like, hey, I got this. Why are you being so weird? They didn't know where that was from. It's from The Office. That's Michael Scott. Like, that's...
It's Gen Alpha. I think that's what he's teaching, right? Young kids. They would not know anything about The Office. I never knew nothing about The Office until I was told by one of my friends, oh yeah, you should watch Office. I got bored by Office after 2 episodes or 2 seasons, whatever. I got bored. I never continued. It was funny at first until it got annoying. So I completely quitted watching it. But still, you expecting kids nowadays to know what The Office is? All they know is memes. Like that person, whatever, the main character. I don't even know if he's the main character, but the boss. The most thing I see out of him is just memes. So they probably just know the meme of him, and that's it.
Breaking news, this teacher's video titled I Quit is going viral. And it
Okay, I don't really care, but okay. Okay, what she said. I resigned from teaching in January, and I just found this video from the day I quit. I wish I could go back and show her what life looks like now. So I'm guessing she quitted like a while back. So she quit in 2024 January. This is 7 months after she's posting it.
I think I'm putting in my letter of resignation today. I'm talking quietly so no one can hear me.
So this is her putting her resignation.
I've been thinking about it for a while, and it's a teacher institute day, so it's a good time to do it. I'm just so nervous. And thinking about it makes me want to cry. I really wish I loved teaching. But it's nothing like I thought.
The one thing I see from this videos, like in general, is if you look behind her head, like on top of her head, A, B, C, D, that's kindergarten slash preschool. I'll probably say like, what do they call it? Preschool, right? From 1st to 4th grade going down. Most of them quitting are that. Even if we go back to this guy right here, if you look, this class is young. It's like young students, young kids. It's just Gen Alpha, man. When they're so used to their phones, to where they are allowed to like say anything they want, they're so used. The parents don't care as much at home. You end up having stressful days for teachers who were not supposed to deal with this. All they were supposed to come up is teach. If you have a question, come and ask. Make it simple. We are done. But still, here we are.
I'm walking right out the door. I won't ever be back.
This one looks like an older, like Gen Z type of class, not Gen Alpha. Bro, making a teacher quit like that is crazy work. I've actually had a teacher do that before where they were like, you know what, I'm gonna leave for 20 minutes, and if the class is not quiet, we're not doing class today. That's when everybody turned into a teacher and just can you everyone just shut up, man? Shush, the teacher's trying to teach. But hey, teaching is a different type of job, especially when you're dealing with people in general.
After 24 years of being a teacher, today I officially resigned. I have been doing this, like I said, for a very...
Oh, here's a teacher who's been teaching for 24 years. Teacher quitting in droves and sharing why their job is... Okay. I mean, so now you understand why teachers are not liking their jobs as much as you might think, right? It's stressful. You are dealing with 30 kids per day, multiple classes. Some are stressful. Some kids don't know. Like, it's just a lot of things to deal with. With this being said, it's your boy Bellan. If you liked this video and you want to watch more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like so that we get, I don't know what, 2 likes. Let's shoot for 2 likes. Peace out.